What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Dead Man's Mike podcast, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast hosted by myself, Nick White 314, and Craig Towns out of St. Louis, Missouri. Craig,
You
how you
know,
feeling?
man, I'm feeling good as always. It's always good to chop it up with some HHN theme park news with you, man. So without
Yeah,
further
dude.
ado, let's get to it.
Let's get right into it. We have a really cool topic for you guys tonight. And, before we get into that, we want to talk about anything announced, anything going on in the theme park world, especially with Universal, because that's what we're mainly covering. And we want to pay homage to something that's been very near and dear to our hearts, and we got to talk about it from the Disney side. And that is the fact that Disney's Dinosaur and Animal Kingdom has now made its last ride. It is now closed permanently for the Indiana Jones renovation. I don't even really know how to put that in words. I don't think it necessarily hit me until probably today when putting everything together for what we were going to talk about,
Yeah,
with this episode. But I just want to say this was the one ride as a kid going to Disney World that scared the shit out of me. Like it was the one that I tried to avoid getting on. And then when I finally got on it and I did it a million times, I loved it. Like it is the most intense ride. Definitely Animal Kingdom. I think it is more intense than Everest. It throws you around. It
yeah,
completely immerses you. You are really taken back to that prehistoric period. I cannot believe the Dinosaur and Dinoland USA is gone as a whole. But you know what? For everybody that got to experience it, consider yourselves lucky because this ride had an amazing run. Craig, what do you think about this?
yeah. Dinosaur. Um, it is very near and dear to my heart. I remember the first time. I think it was like in 2023. I visited Animal Kingdom for the very first time. I was blown away uh by the attention to detail, about every experience, every ride, every um every animal exhibit, everything, even the Kilimanjaro safaris, which I loved, which I fell in love with. I get it, Disney fans, I get it. So then when I rode Dinosaur, I remember I rode Dinosaur after I rode Expedition Everest, and I was like so
Mhm.
excited because seeing like the POVs over the years, like, oh man, I'm gonna ride Dinosaur. This is crazy. And so when I went on Dinosaur, like it was really like it's almost like if you're doing something for the first time that you always want to do, and it's like it won't hit you till you actually do it. It's like, damn, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
Dinosaur was great. Oh man, like the nostalgia of it. Like this was back when this was like I would say like this is. I mean, it is like this is back when because Animal Kingdom came about back in the Michael Eisner era of Disney, and so
Yeah.
people widely regard the Michael Eisner era the best Disney era ever because that was when um, Disney, to some people, Disney was better, and that was when that's brought us the Disney Renaissance with all the animated films and stuff. So um, I would say Dinosaur is up there with one of my favorite Disney rides of all time because um,
Absolutely.
it's almost like it's informational, it has facts, it's still thrilling um while still being thrilling at the same time, and it's informative about the the dinosaur era of the world and stuff, and it is very intense. It does whip you around Transformer style, so I will say
Yeah.
that. And you know for you know and that's what brings me back to uh my thoughts about the Michael Eisner era of Disney when he was CEO of the company. Like rides like this have like a certain charm to it because it's like wow, like back when it just kind of brings you back to when Disney rides were more intense, and
Right.
some were like actually thrilling, and uh back when Michael Eisner wanted to push the envelope and be like, hey, this is what we can do, this is what Disney could be. It don't have to be all, family friendly kitty shit all around. You know what I'm saying? We could push the envelope.
Right.
It could be thrilling, like what they did with Alien Encounter and Tomorrowland and stuff like that. So, and just like how they did with Expedition Everest. So, this it's unfortunately the end of an era. Um, I'm excited for Tropical Americas and what Indiana Jones can do. Um, Believe it or not, Dinosaur uses the same ride. It uses the same ride path, and like um, mechanics as the Indiana Jones Adventure. So it's almost like it was made to be replaced by Indiana Jones anyway at some point. But you know, who am I to guess that? But either way, I'm excited for the future of you know this area, Dino Land USA. RIP to a real one. Um, RIP to
Yeah.
Restaurantosaurus too. They have really good tenders and fries. I will say that.
Hey, and RIP to Primeval World, man.
Yep.
That that roller coaster, don't be fooled. That shit was aggressive too. Like everything in
Yeah.
Dino Land was aggressive. And the Primeval World, I remember crying because I couldn't get on that. Like I was able to get on Dinosaur, but I was just an inch short of
Oh
getting on the
man.
Primeval World. And I remember
Oh
when I
man.
finally got to get on that, dude, because that was that was like monumental for me. Like I loved Animal Kingdom and I loved everything out there, but I had to get over to Dino Land. No matter what. I was like, I have to get there. Especially in the days before Everest came into play.
Yep.
It's like I have to get over to that side. Like that was the thrill factor of the park was
Hmm.
Dino Land. So just like Craig said, man, RIP to a real one. RIP to Dinosaur. Sending it off, in the greatest Disney magical vibes, man. We can't wait to see what comes next, but damn, we are so excited that we got to experience that. So
For sure. For sure.
RIP to Dinosaur, man. So let's go ahead and switch. Shoot up the highway, up I-4, back up to the Universal side. We do have more news and information regarding Mardi Gras, and that is that the tribute store was announced today. It is Baron Totten's Roadhouse themed, and this will have a very big background on French Quarter history. So it will be less of the backwoods swamp bayou vibe that we had last year, but more of that French Quarter Mardi Gras historic vibe that you will get in the French Quarter area of New Orleans. So Mardi Gras will kick off this weekend. I want to say it kicks off Saturday on the 7th. And on the 5th, for all UOAPs, the tribute store preview will be happening that day. So if you're listening to this and you're a UOAP, get down to the park so you can get a preview and first pick at the awesome merch because it looks really good this
Yeah.
year
That merch always go
before
crazy.
everybody else gets a chance. Yeah, no, that merch is going hard. I'll be sending my money with people so that I can get a shirt back since we
Yep.
can't make it down there this year. All right, man. Well, like we said, we have a great topic for you guys tonight. And I want to start it off kind of with this question here. And that question is, we always speak on the popular HHN houses, but what about the slept on originals? If you're listening, I want you to take your mind off of the IPs. We're not even going to go IP tonight. We're not even going to go there. We're going to stay relevant within the last 5 or 6 years, HHN maybe.
Yep.
But let's talk about some originals that really just, from what we feel, did not get a whole lot of love. Craig, what do you think about some of these originals that we have picked?
I would say that um the ones from the well, not from the ones we got picked. Um, the ones that we did pick, I think these are the ones that are the most slept on, and that they don't get talked about as much as they should. And they were like
Yeah,
very good. They were very good, but they just don't get as much. They just not and not to say that they don't get as much love either, because they do, but they just don't get talked about in the stratosphere as often as other originals do, because it's like I don't know, because there maybe it's just because there's been so many good originals that the slept on originals just don't get talked about as often. So
right.
and that's just basically it, and they just get forgotten about, that easily, because that's just how much Universal been cooking for the past couple of years. So
Dude, they been
you
cooking on the
know
originals. Ooh,
they've been
the
cooking.
originals
So
have been,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I also feel like, and this is gonna sound very niche, but like when you have two major IPs and an original sitting right in between those two IPs or right next to two IPs, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That makes it hard for that original to pull the same numbers that the IPs are pulling. Like if you go back to, I want to say it was A Quiet Place, then Insidious, then Ghostbusters, then
mhm.
Triplets of Terror. We love Triplets of Terror,
Loved it.
but we absolutely loved it. But it never pulled the same amount of numbers as those IPs because of where it was sitting.
Exactly.
You
It was
know,
sitting. It was sitting literally right next to like 3, 4 straight IPs, and I'm like, well,
yeah, yeah, it was in a weird spot,
it
and it
was in
was
a
such a good
weird
house.
spot, and I don't know why. I don't know what made Universal put like 4 straight IPs in a row like that, but they just did it that way for some reason. So,
The front of the park was very heavy that year because I feel like it was Monstros and
yep.
then
Then it was
IP triplets.
triplets. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it
I
was
was like,
weird.
well, you know what?
But you know what? I will say before we go into this list and really break shit down, if there are any HHN scare actors that were a part of any of these houses, please know we're not saying that these houses are bad. We're saying that you all didn't get the shine that you deserved. And, for me being a scare actor, I know what it takes to really deliver a theme and push the narrative. So
Very
we
true.
aren't shitting on y'all at all. All that to say, we aren't shitting on y'all at all. We're not tearing these houses down. We're actually saying that we liked them and we just wish they would have got a little more shine. So without further ado, let's go into the first one. And this is Blood Moon Dark Offerings. Now, this is a
Mhm.
house that I wasn't even able to go through. So, Craig, whatever you have on this house, I've watched it on YouTube a million times. And I remember when you all were not wanting to watch opening night walkthroughs, but I knew I was only making it to Hollywood that year. So I was like, I'm getting a while out and watch all this shit.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm still sad to this day that I did not get an opportunity to walk through this house.
Man,
Visually stunning, and it looked
telling you.
intense. What was the experience of going through Blood Moon like?
So the the experience with going through Blood Moon. It's like you felt that you were like, it's like a cult. Ultimately, it was the storyline of just like a cult following, you know, the Blood Moon, which is red.
Right,
So it's almost like once the moon turns into a blood moon, it's like all hell breaks loose. People doing all types of sacrifices, killing people. chaos left and right through the village, and I loved it. I loved it, and
Yeah.
it reminded me of like these cult movies, these cult horror movies like The Witch and um, things like that, where and Hereditary, where like crazy shit goes down, crazy things happen, and it's just all chaos around you, and then you see um, one of the uh one of the uh one of like the blood moon um figures at the end, and it's wild, bro. It's wild. It
Yeah.
almost reminds me of like a prequel to Gawkin.
Ooh.
It's almost like a what do you call it? It's almost like a prequel to Gawkin, which is hey
Okay. All right. All right.
yeah.
I like that take. Actually, anytime that I watch this, for one, what a great house to follow Dead Man's Pier in the exact same sound
See
stage.
what I'm saying?
Gotta start there. The same team that created Dead Man's Pier that created this one. We know that. They cooked on both of those houses, but
And the
this
house was
Blood
beautiful.
Moon, yeah, man. And I feel
Hmm.
like with this Blood Moon, the intensity and it really lives up to the title.
Yeah.
Like it is one of the more dark HHN houses that I've seen. Like you can really go through an HHN house and find the funny, like the comical, the scary, the stuff that's supposed to be scary, but you can laugh at it, or like also oh, that's cool, those moments. How did they put that together? How did they do that? But this house, it was on from the jump, and it was scary. That scene with the church pews and
It's bruh. When I tell
hey,
you, I don't
yo,
know what it is, but like a scene with church pews and all these figures just looking to the. That's so effective. That's so damn effective in haunted houses, bro. I
absolutely.
don't know what it is, but it's effective and it works, especially in this.
Yeah, nah, it worked. It worked so well. So fucking well. Hey, shout out to Blood Moon Dark Offerings, man. I would love to see it come back one year. Some originals can get run back. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll definitely see it. Maybe I get to go through it. So that was Blood Moon Dark Offerings, our first house on the list. Moving into our second list, this is one that Craig and I both had when we were comparing our list before we talked about it. I actually talked about this house at GhoulieCon over the summer about it being one of my underrated original HHN houses. And Craig, you agree with me. That is from HHN 31. I will honestly like to say the original that nobody talks about. Like, I don't hear anybody bring it up. That is Fiesta de
Mhm.
Chupacabras.
Mhm.
Absolute banger. I don't care what nobody says,
Absolutely,
bro. Oh
absolutely,
my goodness.
without a doubt.
Dude, this house, what I loved about this house is the atmosphere it created. I love that we really did feel as if we were walking through a Hispanic village, but also being outside. Like we were indoors, but they definitely, made an incredible use of the space. And it was very like it was intense, but it gave me, Day of the Dead kind of vibes.
Mhm.
Um, Out of all the Monstros houses, the El Artista, the Fiesta de Chupacabras, like Chupacabras had its own kind of vibe. And they all did, but this one was a standalone also. I always wondered if it connected with any of the other, Latin houses, but I really think this was its own thing.
Yeah, I think
And I
so too.
really enjoyed this house. I did.
Like the fact that when you walked in, you can smell fireworks, bro.
Yeah.
Fireworks. Because
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
story because the storyline around it was that it's a um it was a Latin festival going, a yearly Latin festival going around, and um, and again, it's like it's a cult storyline to where these people worship these big monstrous ass chupacabras, and they just offer people up as sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's simple but effective.
Yeah, no, and this house was all about simplifying the lore. How simple can we be, but how intense can we be while simplifying it? And they did just that. And also, it just felt like a zigzag a lot, not a whole lot of long hallways, which made the house feel so much longer. Like I remember feeling like we were in there for quite a while too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Fiesta Day Chupacabras will always, always, always land on my list for underrated HHN houses. It could be 20 years from now. I'm still gonna plug it. I want people to go run the views up on YouTube. Like this is just one of those houses you never hear people talk about from 31, man. Like you don't. It's weekend. It's um
Monsters collide. I mean,
yeah,
legends
yeah.
collide.
Monsters, Legends collide, and probably those two from 31, from what I hear, the most. Some people reminisce, but we're gonna talk about a few from 31 tonight because our next one takes us right into Bugs Eaten Alive.
Yes.
Yo,
Yes.
this house was unhinged, man. I
Unhinged,
unhinged.
nasty.
Yeah,
Uh it really like if you have a phobia of bugs, this house was not for you. Because when I tell you they were
yeah,
everywhere,
yeah.
everywhere. They creep you.
And
It,
they
it creeped everybody
really,
out, man.
yeah,
Man.
and they capitalized on that. And they also had the bugs like coming at you from different ways too. Like it wasn't just head on. Like they had those props on the ground, like coming at your feet. Like they had
Man.
stuff like tugging on your arm. Like
It
it was pretty
literally
good.
messed with it meant like, and they can do those little simple things to you, and it can mess with your phobia. It can mess with people's phobia of bugs. It's so effective, and that's why that I want, like this type of idea making from Universal is just what makes them great when it comes to HHN, because you can do things as simple as that. A bug house,
Yeah,
perfect. People are afraid. Some half the people that go to HHN don't even do bugs anyway. So it's like perfect,
right.
simple,
I
simple
see
yet
exactly what you're
effective.
saying. Also, can we not forget that Bugs Eaten Alive, even though it was what 3 4 years ago now, probably
Mhm.
closing in on 4, it still has involvement with HHN today because that's where the whole BuzzCon company was introduced,
Yep,
was in
that's
this
where it
house.
was introduced. And
So
BuzzCon
then they
literally has lore for like the past, like you said, for like the past 4 years.
right. So then they run back Toxic 20s, the scare zone from this year. And that is because a BuzzCon truck exploded, and now everybody is being eaten by the battery acid from BuzzCon. So, with that being said, because you got to look for Easter eggs, you got to think about things.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
If this returns one day, do not be surprised. If it returns or if it comes back in any kind of way, do not be surprised. Now the BuzzCon lore is so alive that
And
it
they
keeps the door open for any of
and
this stuff.
they can do so much with it. Like honestly, you can take a storyline from the Toxic 20 Scare Zone and turn that into a house.
Dude, a Toxic 20s house would be crazy too.
You can literally turn Toxic
It
20s
really
into a
would.
house. Literally.
Yeah. There are a lot of there are a lot of zones that could be turned into a house, but like even this Bugs Eaten Alive could be extended off of the thought of, what, maybe we don't do the whole house over all these different types of bugs, but we just do it over one. So why don't we can go like Not Scary Farm when they did Widows and go the spider route, or we can go the cockroach route. Like they can get some stuff done with this for sure.
I believe so.
So that's my thought on Bugs Eaten Alive. I definitely think it was slept on, but it still did pretty good. I feel like people definitely still talked about it and it was relevant. And then on top of that, Terror Tram out in Hollywood, they did the Exterminators thing that year. So they had
so basically like
my dog Larry Larva.
Right. Basically a little extension.
Larry Larva. Right, exactly. So shout out Buzz Eating Alive. That was definitely a good house. Now this next one, this is another one that I feel like I'm gonna be backing for a long time because I this is my theory. I feel like people went through this house one time and did not run it back enough. I loved this house off the first rip, but I didn't catch anything that was going on in it because I was too busy just looking at everything and thinking that it was cool, like the idea. So you got to go run it back. That is Dolls Let's Play Dead.
That's all you gotta say. Mic drop. That's it.
Mic drop. Y'all should have gone through it more than once, dude. It landed on so many people's list.
Yeah.
Not high up on the original side.
Not high up.
It just did not. A lot of people, to be honest, I think the way that you and I felt about Goblin's Feast is how a lot of people felt about this house.
And that excuse my French, that's fucking insane. Because how did those same people like Goblin's Feast?
Dude, like I agree. Goblin's Feast just didn't do it for us.
How do you like Goblin's Feast more than Dolls? I don't get that.
Dolls went hard, man. It did. It went hard. And not only did it go hard, it was intense. It was also just like more creepy, like eerie around every corner. And then they had that one random ass clown in there that took me out every single time we went through there. That clown was hilarious.
Bruh, I swear. And it was random.
Dude.
Man.
I just didn't expect it.
And the fact that it just like appeared out of nowhere. Oh my God.
But we're walking through a house full of toys, full of dolls.
And they're getting tormented.
And being tormented. They're playing on the fact that when you open a toy box, there's a bunch of random shit in it. So that's why you come around the corner, here's a clown. Next room, easy bake oven, and you getting baked alive. Like that room was crazy. And the eeriest part of the house was when we came out of, on the back end of the house, and you hear that the girl's voice in the sound system saying that she was gonna hurt you, or like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna like. Normally in most haunted houses, I don't think that works. We have an unwritten rule in the haunt world. Like you don't say, come play with me. You don't say, get out. You don't say, what are you doing here? But it worked in that house. I did enjoy Dolls Let's Play Dead. So make sure y'all go watch a walkthrough of that. Don't sleep on it. Really good house.
And it will grow on you, and it's so good, man.
It will. It was a really good house. All right, now this next one was one that Craig and I didn't think about originally, but now we're gonna go out to Hollywood for this one, and this is one that I know didn't land on a lot of people's lists, but Hollywood was also IP heavy this year. And if you know anything about Hollywood, if you put an original in the lower lot, it's got to be some heat to pull some numbers, because the lower lot, that's where all the IPs are going.
Yep.
Like majority of the IPs are going to be there.
Lower lot party.
Lower lot party. And this is going to be Dead Exposure, Death Valley. Craig, what did you think about this, man? We all really enjoyed this house.
We did. After like I say like 3, 4 runs that night in Death Exposure, Death Valley, I gotta say that this house was literally up there. Like just originals period within HHN history, this is up there. Because it's yet again, it's a simple storyline. You know, it's a nuclear explosion, uh, a nuclear explosion in the Vegas area, and now things have wreak havoc. You going into this like this governmental area and this uh contaminated zone. You got toxic monkeys, toxic people everywhere. Like man,
Yeah.
it's simple yet effective, and it's so good.
It's also the nuclear power plant type of vibe. Doesn't always work at every haunted house, but it also is a very easy thing to pull off. And I feel that they really did pull it off well because it wasn't just you're going through the nuclear power plant that's been run amok, but they also really capitalized on things like you said, like the animals and everything else in there, just really bringing it full circle. Like there were a lot of different things going on in that house that really pushed the theming. So to me, that's what made this one fun. And it was also like really fucking intense. Like
Wow,
there were a lot of heavy hitting scares in this house. Like it was nothing light. Like this is a heavy
that's
house.
true. Very true.
So definitely dead exposure, Death Valley from Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, Lower Lot Party. Y'all know how we do it over here at Dead
Lower
Man's
Lot
Mike.
Party.
Lower Lot Party. Hashtag that. Put it on a hoodie. Our next one is coming back to Florida, coming back to HHN 31. This is another original that we feel was slept on. Slept on slash a lot of people just straight up didn't like it. Like a lot of people were just like, that was terrible. And I did some research and I heard that this was one that originally wasn't supposed to be what it was, and then it was thrown into this spot because a deal with the specific IP just didn't go through.
Hmm.
It's gonna be Hell Block Horror.
Yeah, a classic, man. It's without a
I
doubt.
thought Hell Block Horror hit when I really went back and listened to what other people were thinking about this house. I was like, dang man, I guess I'm in a lane of my own. I really thought that this house hit. I really did. Like it was a monster prison and they're all trying to escape and essentially you get put in there and you're the prison guard.
Right.
It's and maybe it's me because I love haunted houses that have the chain link fence maze, the strobe lights, the fog, and the loud sound system. It's not a lot, but it's intense and it pushes the experience. So for me, I really did. I loved Hellblock Horror, and I can't think of what the other original was at 31 that year that was kind of on the lines of Hellblock Horror.
I
And it
think.
was like a subway.
Oh,
It was
Descendants of
back
Destruction.
there.
I
Descendants
love.
of
You
Destruction.
know
You
what?
know
That
what?
oh, I
That
forgot
should have
about
made
that
the
one.
list too.
Oh my god,
That should have made the
I
list
love
too.
Descendants. I love Descendants, bro. I did. I love
That
Descendants.
was see, that was another one.
See
I'm
what
like,
I'm
I know
saying?
there's another original out there, and I can't picture which one that is.
That just goes to show you that there are so many originals that slept on, man. Especially from 31 that nobody talks about.
Yeah, because
Because
Descendants of
Descendants,
Destruction was like that.
it was. And you want to
It
talk
was
about
like that.
intense? It was more intense than Hellblock Horror.
Yeah. And I feel like they definitely had a lot of similarities, but they were also
Hmm.
very different. But Shout out to Hellblock Horror and Descendants of Destruction. Both two really good houses. 31. Now, this next one, taking it back to the lower lot party. I went through this house a couple years ago. I really thought that this house was gonna be ass. I'll just be honest. I really did. I was like, I'm not sure how they'd be able to pull this off. But not only did they pull it off, it was one of my favorite houses from that year. This is Holidays in Hell.
Mm.
This, and let me be so for real. Like, this is the first holiday themed haunt that I felt it really worked. And I think the reason that it really worked was because they capitalized by doing a room themed to every single major holiday.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just Christmas. Christmas was at the end. But they started, it was New Year's, then I want to say it was Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, 4th of July, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. And every room was extremely intense. And believe it or not, the best room, the creepiest fucking room,
Yeah.
was the Easter room. The Easter room was weird.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
can tell.
mean, dude, you went through there. It was just like actual like eggs and like dead rabbits and shit everywhere. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And the sound system was insane. And it started at New Year's Eve too. So when you walked in, the front facade was a clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I
clock
remember
is
that.
counting down. Yeah, that was really cool. And like the sound effects and everything. So
I honestly, I really hope they bring this to Orlando. I really do because I want to
that'd be
experience it
I would love to see it in Orlando.
like how they do like how they did with Monstros. I want them to bring Holidays in Hell to Universal Orlando. I do.
Yeah. That'd be that'd be really cool. I would love to see them bring that there. There are a few houses that I'd like to see in Orlando that didn't make Hollywood. Now, this next one was one I didn't get to go through, but Craig, you went through it, and I know you can kind of deliver some good insight on this one. Where you have Oddfellows Twisted Origins. And also,
Oddfellows Twisted Origins. Yes.
what put this on the list for you? Because the year of HHN with Oddfellow, I mean, Oddfellow was the icon. Like, he was
Yeah. And be-
everywhere.
and
But
believe
for
it or
some
not,
reason, you're saying this is slept on.
it is slept on. Not too many people talked about Oddfellows Twisted Origins. And I think it's because uh I think this year it was there were a lot of great houses that just kind of overlap, kind of like leaped Oddfellows, uh, and the theming was like circus field, like kind of like Oddfellows Bazaar or whatnot, and it's almost like that theme was kind of played out at HHN for a while, and so that's kind of like um what got it swept under the rug to some people. But I loved Oddfellows Twisted Origins because it was simply chaos. It told the story of Oddfellow trying to like uh have totems and gather power to like be like one of the powerful, you know, being one of the powerful beings on earth alive or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's just like his evil minions are just trying to like do his bidding so he can so that he can have all the power and whatnot. And that was honestly the theme of of that year of him being an icon, really, and to capitalize on people's fears and stuff like that. So I loved Oddfellows. It was intense. And it was like very condensed too. So it felt like you were kind of claustrophobic in a way, and you was and that house zigzag too. If any house zigzagged, it was this one. So
Yeah.
it was great.
I really love the detail in that house.
Yeah, the
I mean,
detail was good
the
too.
detail was on point in that house. I remember looking at that one on YouTube and being like, "Damn, like this is great." You know, just the lighting and everything else that went into it. So, shout out to Dr. I Phillips Twisted Origins. I definitely feel like this would have been a house that I thoroughly would have enjoyed had I been able to go that year and make it to Orlando as well.
It was
So
good.
shout out to that. Now, this next one though, you and I have been talking about this. We were actually just talking about this on our story for anybody who was looking at the Q&A that we had going on a couple days ago. But that's going to be Grave of Flesh from
Mhm.
this year.
Yes, indeed. Big grave.
Big Grave. Big Grave.
Big grave.
This is another house that I feel like out the gate, more than Dolls, I feel like out the gate, people had put this on the same level as Fallout, and they were like, "Nope, that ain't it. It's just not good." At first, when I went through it, I didn't even think it was bad. I just thought that it was just kind of all right. Well, we just kind of went through Cemetery, but no, you go through it a few more times and start tripping off the detail and everything. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really had good use of the space in showing that you were underground. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You were in the ground trying to avoid the rest of the dead. So to me, Grave of Flesh was really cool. The atmosphere was really cool. The fog from the actual house itself overflowing like over the curtains into the queue line was awesome. I really loved the vibe of Grave of Flesh. I really did. I thought it was a very good house. Craig, what do you think?
I like my first impression of Grave of Flesh. I was like, well, I mean, just like yours, I was like, well, it's good for what it was, but like as soon as we went into it over and over again, it kind of grew on me because it's like, like it's almost like, when you go through a house, like for the second, third, or fourth time, you can notice every detail. Like I looked up and I was like, oh, we underground, we died. So
Yeah,
it's like going into the afterlife. It's so crazy,
yeah.
and that's what made
Nah,
it
it
so
was
good. The attention to detail of it.
right. It's all about the attention to detail and the actor at the beginning who was playing the grave digger. He really set the tone.
Yeah,
He really did. He only had a couple of lines, but he set the tone for the house. So nah, Grave of Flesh was really cool. It's I know it's definitely one of those ones that people won't be talking about a lot, but I definitely wanted to give it some shine for sure.
yeah, grave,
And
grave. Shout out to
then
them.
yeah, shout out to Grave of Flesh, man. This last one before we close it out. Big Triplets of Terror, HHN
Big trip,
33. Big Trip.
big trip.
Yo,
So good.
I think Craig and I were the absolute spokespersons for this house.
No, seriously, because it's so
Like,
good. It's so
they
good,
could just
man.
make us the mascots for Triplets of Terror.
Please do. We won't mind.
It was so dope.
It was
It was so good, man. The only
like the
you already know
like
what we're gonna
the
say.
the facade was just.
Dude, when we walked in and I saw the police car and it was raining, I said, "Oh yeah, this is
You
gonna be a
hear
good one."
me?
Atmosphere on point. This is gonna be a good
On
one.
point. And then you got the police radio in the background too from the car. Come on.
I was like, because I think you and I, as soon as we walked in there, we looked around, we like, all right, let's go. Like we got hyped up
Yeah.
immediately because that house was
It
guaranteed to be
was
that good.
and then we didn't expect it to be that good, bro. Like
No, we
Triplets
didn't.
was just so good, man. Like, and then the 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 radio podcast part of it, dude. Come on.
That's what I was gonna bring up. I feel like that's the only area they messed up with this house. And so it wasn't the house. They just should have been playing it in the queue line outside so that people could hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that the Triplets of Terror line was running right by the
Insidious.
Insidious line.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
But they should have had speakers planted along the Triplets line telling us the story so that we knew what we were going into. But if you were able to catch the story, then it made total sense. But you had to catch it in that one room. You were only in there for 3 seconds.
Right. It's so good, man.
Yeah, I rocked with Triplets of Terror. It was a really cool,
I want them to come
cool
to the
house,
sequel house.
cool concept.
HHN, if
What'd you
you're
say?
listening, HHN, if you're listening, we want a sequel house.
Oh, y'all can definitely sequel this because now the triplets should be like 13 or something like that. So
Yep.
what we doing? It's their birthday, just like the
And
story.
the crazy thing is, hey, every birthday, they go on the killing spree.
Right. That is such a crazy concept. I
It
remember when
is.
the artwork for this house dropped too, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, it might be cool, but I don't know. And then it absolutely was my favorite original from
Mm-hmm.
that year.
See,
That and Slaughter Cinema.
Slaughter Cinema. Yeah.
Yeah. You already know how that one is coming. So well, this was fun, man. Craig, you got anything you want to hit on before we close this one out?
Let me talk about the sentence of destruction since we just now
Let's
remember
talk
about it.
about it.
The sentence of destruction was so good, and again, it was so simple. It was a simple concept, you know,
Yeah.
a dystopian future where in New York, where people hide in the subways and the sewers and are cannibals. So, and you fighting for your life.
Yep.
There you go.
It was
And it was
that
so
was a
intense. It
really
was it
cool
was it
concept.
was it was dark. It was claustrophobic. It was intense. 5 stars.
Yeah. No, it was very well done. And that's how you know it was good because we thought about it immediately, like being in this conversation, like in this topic. Like, hold on. I know there's another house that was right there, like with Hell Block Horror, like, all up in there. Sentence of Destruction was definitely dope. So shout out to that one. We'll have to do some more conversation about Descendants.
Definitely.
Well, as always, y'all, we appreciate you for listening and checking us out on the Dead Man's Mike podcast, Halloween Horror Nights podcast. We just thought that this one would be fun. We don't really have a whole lot of info on 35 right now, and that's fine. When we get the info, these episodes will definitely have more of announcements and info regarding the event. And Craig and I are working on a little bit of a sub series for you all, and we'll tell you all about that when we can. We're really excited to tell you about kind of what we're thinking about doing with that. But other than that, man, continue to follow. Thank you so much to anybody who's taking the time to follow us on Spotify, Apple, and listen to us, YouTube as well. The numbers are going up. We appreciate you all for rocking out with us. We just need a space to talk about HHN, and we're glad to have y'all be a part of the Dead Man's Mike family. It's a big family over here.
Big fan.
So if that is it, we will catch y'all on the next one, and we will see y'all in the fog. Peace out.
Peace out, y'all. See you later.